Hey, what is up everyone? Pastor Jams here back with another video. And today we're doing something a little bit different since we're coming down to the end of the year. And my lists are starting to come together. And I noticed that I wanted to take a video slot and use it to talk about some of the albums I wish I reviewed in 2021. Um, Trust me, there was a lot that I missed this year, and I'm kind of like just beating myself up over it. Given I would do like two reviews a week, and then if I did a topic video or a reaction or whatever the case may be, then it would be like one review a week. Uh, Certainly, I mean, of course, I couldn't get to everything, but there was certainly albums that kind of piqued my interest more than others. That's why I'm kind of had to like choose every week that something came out. And these are just six of the albums that I really did want to review, but I just couldn't, whether it was time constraints or favoring other albums to review. But trust me, there were plenty. If your album isn't on here, it probably is. These are just the six that I personally really wanted to, but I just couldn't. We're gonna start off with "Still Over It" by Summer Walker. First of all, the reason I didn't really review this album is because it's super long. It's an hour, although that doesn't sound long necessarily. It's 20 tracks long, and I'm not sure where I would be able to handle something like that, given how complicated I hear the album is. Of course, I hear a lot of good things from the album, especially from a female perspective, and I'm all about that. But I feel like it's something I would have to take on as a challenge, not because I wouldn't like it, but just because I have to put my shoes on. It's like I have to look at a different perspective that I'm not necessarily used to looking through. And but I do see a lot of good feedback coming from this album, and maybe in a different time, possibly next year when everything's more calm, or if I have time, I'll listen to a few tracks, and if it piques my interest, then I'll listen to the whole thing. But for right now, I feel like it's a little too complicated, and I wouldn't be able to grasp the true nature of what she's trying to convey. Moving on from there, this is an album I actually listened to, and I've been listening to quite a bit. It's Carnage by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. I just I don't know why I never did a review on this. Every time I would try to, something else just came up, and I prefer doing that review over this. But don't get me wrong, this was an amazing collab album between the two, and frankly, I don't even know if I have my full thoughts on the album yet. Um, it's kind of like really dark poetry, amazing production, yet kind of balances back and forth between religion and stuff like that, philosophy, and I really don't know if I understand my true thoughts on it. I mean, I like the album, but I I don't really know how to grasp my true feelings for it. I think that's also a reason why I never really came out with a review on it, since it came out in April, and ever since then I'm like, okay, this week I'm gonna do it. This week I'm gonna do it, and then I didn't do it. I would do something else. Moving on from there, we got Tyron by Slow Tie. Honestly, I'm being frank here. I know Slow Tie from Gorillaz when he appeared on their Song Machine Season 1 in 2020. Before that, I didn't really know who he was. But I thought he did a great track, Momentary Bliss, on that album. And when he came out with the album this year, I was intrigued. I didn't listen to it, but I really wanted to do a review on it since he did do great on that track with the Gorillaz. And yeah, just never really got around to it. Speaking of Gorillaz, sometimes I might be Introvert by Little Sims. She's also collabed with the Gorillaz before, and I think she did great and amazing. And she came out with I hear that it was an amazing rap album this year. However, again, it's 19 tracks and like an hour and 5 minutes. I I I get really stumped when there's a lot of tracks, and so that, because it's so much to take in. And frankly, if it's something that I think it's going to be a little bit complicated, it takes more time for me to digest it. And that's why, like, I kind of have to choose other reviews or other things that pique my interest, because it holds my attention more. um but yeah, I'll probably, give it a listen next year, and see how that goes. Another album that I listened to but just didn't give a review of is Pressure Machine by The Killers. The Killers is one of my favorite bands ever, and they came out with this album called Pressure Machine. Again, I don't really know if I have, like, I know my true feelings about it. I listened to the album multiple times, and I don't know if I necessarily like it. I think it's okay. Uh, I don't really know where they're going, honestly, with it. I don't know if Brandon, lead singer, is trying to go for a more religious thing, given that he's a Mormon and he's trying to explore more of his Mormon attributes, his culture. I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of really seemed. And then Phoebe Bridgers also featured on this album, which was amazing. And yeah, I just, concept wise, I don't really know what they're going for. Finally, last but not least, Blue Banisters by Lana Del Rey. When she came out with album in March, Camtrails Over the Country Club, I thought it was good. Gave it a 7. That's a pretty solid score. And she just came out with another album, Blue Banisters. I think it was last month, and never got to it. I was gonna see maybe if she had improved, see what this new album was all about, given that it's 2 albums in 1 year. Yeah, just never really got around to it. But yeah, those are the 6 albums that I really wished I could have reviewed this year or got into around. Um, but hey, you can only do so much. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to listen to, or do a review on these in the future one day. But for now, they're going to be on the shelf. Anyways, that is the video. Hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to link all of these down in the description below if you want to give them a listen. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe with a friend. Peace and stay safe.